championships with a 90-91 win over Western Washington. Go ahead and start, Coach. Just opening thoughts from today's game.
Well, that was a heck of a basketball game. We got a little separation there and couldn't hold it, and had to make a big hoop to come from behind late. But it's been a while since the team has shot like that against us. We are one of the better defensive teams in the GNAC, and man, they seem like they hit every three they could. But I'm proud of my guys. We made plays to keep the lead. We made plays to keep the lead late, and then, that's not a easy position to be in with 2 seconds to go to get that stop.
Run us through that final play there. Travante drove down the lane. Almir crashed the board, was able to tip it in there. Talk about that, just that final play.
Well, I mean, I've always felt, and they did a good job. We didn't call timeout. We didn't give Western a chance to get their defense set. We knew what we were going to do. We had it in Travante's hands. That's who we wanted it with. I think he put the shot up, trying to draw a foul. And then, we had Kava and Almir both right where they needed to be. And that's one of our biggest putbacks of the year right there.
Run us through that final defensive play. They had the ball underneath their own basket, 2.1 seconds left. Very similar situation to what it was in Fairbanks there. Outcome was obviously different this time. But what did you tell your team in the huddle during that review?
Well, I think the biggest thing was when we scored. I mean, it was a dead scramble, and they were pushing the ball. And we had, I think, Slocum dove for it, and we almost got the steal from Maxwell right there to end it. And then it went out of bounds, and they get the ball with 2 seconds. So I thought those 4 seconds we did a great job. The last two, I mean, we just had to trust each other. We zone out of bounds plays all year. I didn't think we'd have to extend that much. We thought they'd maybe get a shot from the corner, and they threw it out top and took the shot. So, whatever it would have been, a 28-footer, if that would have went in. But fortunately for us, it didn't go in.
Travante, this is your third big game against Western Washington this year. So what is it about these guys that bring out the best of you offensively?
I think it's them overall. They're a good team, and there's guys like Jeffrey Parker and Ricardo Maxwell that make me want to play harder and step up my game for that day. So I think that's most of it.
As much as offense kind of dominated this game, you guys had a good defensive stretch in there. You kept them off the board for 5 minutes and kept them without a field goal for almost 6 in that second half. Was that an adjustment you made, Coach, or was the guys just kind of buckling down a little bit on the floor out there to shut things down?
No, that was more these guys. We're switching back, man, zone. We do play zone a lot. That's where we gain the separation. That's where we got that 8, 9, 10-point lead there. We had a bad turnover. We had another defensive stop, and we turned it over for a layup for him. Free throws, but that's kind of the way close games go. But no, we did. I thought our defense, like you said, in that one stretch, that was probably the best we played, in that 5-6 minute stretch to get us a lead, and then we held on.
You had already had a high-scoring game against these guys. Or you always kind of expect something like that when these two teams and these two styles get together?
Well, I thought they really forced tempo early. I was really surprised by that in that they played last night. We wanted that. I mean, they played last night. We like to go. And it slowed down at the end. It looked like it was going to be, we were going to get around 100 there. And it kind of slowed down there at the end. But no, it is. The game in Fairbanks, whatever it was, 101-99 overtime was crazy. I mean, we held them to 64 points, at their place a few weeks ago. Tonight obviously wasn't the case. They were a totally different offensive team tonight.
Trey, Jeffrey Parker picked up 2 fouls early, a minute and a half into the game. How big was that for you guys in the first half to be able to build momentum? Because, coaches said the first 5 to 8 minutes of the game was real important. How big was that stretch having their first team all-conference player on the bench?
I think it was great for us and bad for them, but he's a great player, and seeing what he did in the second half, he came out aggressive, so it was good for us to get him to sit down for a little bit.
Coach, talk about Joe Slocum. Joe Slocum really had an offensive outburst today. He hit 2 big back-to-back threes in the first half, and he hit big shot after big shot. There was a stretch there where Travante picked up the second foul, and he scored 7 points during the stretch that Travante was on the bench. So talk about Joe's play.
Well, we needed that. Joe and I are the only two that played in the GNAC tournament before 2 years ago, and so his experience is valuable. Obviously, he was very ready to play, and as our point guard, that's exactly what we need. So, and he played the most minutes. Him and Bengali played 33 minutes. So no, that was much needed, and that's great for Joe.
Travante, how do you, and luckily for you it happened, when you missed the free throw, everything was so scramble, you just don't get a chance to think about it?
I think it's just, I think it was a combination of just us, or me not even being in the moment, thinking about the free throw a little too much, so you missed
No, I'm
that.
saying afterwards.
Oh,
Afterward, the game got so hectic that you didn't have a chance to think about it.
Oh, well, that's great. I mean, for me personally, I think it was, I just wanted to try to get it back in, I guess. I really didn't understand the question, but
The
No, I'm
defense, the
saying
scramble
when you-
after the ball, loose ball after the missed free throw.
like how we're scrambling for it,
Mhm.
that's just what we do.
No, let's start over
It
again.
wasn't the free throw, I don't think.
When you miss the free throw, obviously sometimes you did, because I saw a look on your face, but then the game got so hectic that you didn't have a chance to think about it. You just keep playing, right?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, but I'm
Right.
still stuck on it a little bit. I'm going to be thinking about that was 2 free throws for a long
So you can
time.
think about it all night tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be that one.
We have an emotional team. Our guys, their emotions are on their sleeves. And, Bengali, Kaba, when he threw that away, we had the rebound. I mean, you could see him get down. I mean, it's been that way all year, but they're competitors, and they don't like to make mistakes or miss free throws. And so we've tried to use it as a positive as best we can.
Coach, I've watched you play a couple times on tape and obviously just watched that one. It looked to me like when you put those 3 off the bench and you go 8 deep, you don't skip a beat. I mean, those guys come in and really fulfill their roles.
We've been playing 9. Neil Chavez's Trey's back up, and he didn't play the second half because, Travante got a lot of rest the first half with
Sure.
foul trouble. No, we've been playing 9. And even for Travante's numbers in league, his numbers in league is, he's doing it with 29 minutes a game instead of 35 or 38. I believe that as fresh as we can be late is always the best. And so I've always tried to get guys enough rest so they can be at their best at the end. We didn't sub much the last 8 minutes. We weren't the main guys other than maybe our big boy for a minute. But we had to get it up. At some point, you just have to get it up, and our main guys did late in the game.
What'd you tell the team at halftime there, especially about the rebounding? You guys were about 7 going into the half, and they had about 9 offensive rebounds going into the half. What'd you guys tell them to really spark it up?
Well, they had 9 offensive rebounds at half. They got 4 the second half, so much better job. I mean, they just came out with more energy. They were just out working us early. And then late, I think maybe you saw them playing back-to-back where we had a little more energy late. If they didn't make the 3, we got the rebound. Wallace got off to a great start the second half to kind of keep that thing close for a long time.
You guys go to the GNAC championship game now. It's the first time in program history the team's made the tournament finals. Just to kind of talk about the importance of that. What are some of your thoughts on with either team tomorrow?
Well, both teams are good. This should be a heck of a battle. So we're just happy to be there. It's great. We've won 9 out of 10. I mean, we've been one of the hotter teams here, beat Western Oregon at our place, and so, I guess my thoughts are more of, we've got to get this out of our system here in a couple hours, get ourselves ready for tomorrow night, and and not feel too good about being in the championship game, and make sure we're ready to go and hungry. I do think we probably need it. If we win it, we're in the West region. So, I mean, that's motivation enough right there.
Coach, how tough was that? Obviously, the locker room was excited afterwards to calm everybody down, like we got one more to play.
Well, we haven't calmed down yet. It's still, I think it's still going in there. So, but that's all right. We have a group that has fun. So, no, that's a good problem to have.
Absolutely.
We'll get Mark and then the final question.
Dre, Coach just mentioned you're winning 9 out of 10. You guys had a little bit of a slump at the end of January, and now you're on this 9 out of 10. What was the key to leaving that behind and moving forward to this nice little run you're on now?
I think it's just our team that we have right now. It's a bunch of good guys. Coach did a great job recruiting. So I think we just meshed right now, and we all came together, and it was kind of like we know what we are capable of, and we just wanted to get to that. We wanted our respect, and a lot of teams I don't know what it's been for the last couple of years, but we wanted guys to know who we were, and we wanted a name for ourselves, and we just want to do something special this year.
All right, guys.